must be guided by Psalms 19 verse 14.
Let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Oh.
We have a tendency to believe that word is wind. In today's world, wind is energy. So word is not an ineffectual thing. Word shapes minds. Words guide our hearts. Words signal what kind of leadership we have. So my fellow Jamaicans, we are also living in a time when truth is being sacrificed at the altar. Lies, half-truths are being spread by the opposition. Not just in the heat of a campaign, but as part of a sustained strategy to mislead and confuse. And I want to point that out to you tonight, that not everything you hear in social media, not everything you hear in the newspapers, on the radio, and certainly on the opposition platform is true. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but they that deal in truth are his delight. We as the government, we have an obligation to deal in truth. And we have set standards for our public communication with our social media, and anything that we put out as a government, as far as possible, must be true. We're not going to craft it.
It's $50 one way. So for example, if a child lives in Montego Bay and attends the Cambridge High School, that child will be required to pay $50 to and $50 from. This school bus system will be a cashless system. So the government will announce how these cards or where these cards can be obtained. It even got a little better, where students who are on path will pay $0 to travel daily. Let me repeat that. The children who are on path will pay $0 to travel to and from school on a daily basis. Let me also say how proud I am to see the completion of the Antrobus Police Station. The last information that I got, the station will be officially open before the end of July. And this station, with additional men and women, it will add to the security of the residents in the respective areas that the Antrobus Police serve. It will also provide for a better accommodation for our policemen and women. And you know, we have to give credit to this government, because when things are not going good, we blame the government. The police force now is in a much better place than where it were 5, 10, 15 years ago. When you see the policemen on the road, they are now wearing a new uniform in most cases. They are driving new vehicles in most cases. And the policemen their appearance is much more confident than previously. So let me congratulate our policemen for doing a difficult job under difficult circumstances. Let me say how pleased I am for that major reduction in our homicide rate. And if we continue on the same trajectory, we will even have lower reduction. Today I visited a number of roads that are to be repaired very soon. These roads are Gully Road in Comfortall, Jubilee Road in Duckets, and Nigger Brown Road in Antrobus. Let me also remind my listeners that councillors, especially the councillors from the opposition, they are spreading falsehood in their respective division to say that they are not getting any resources. But the minister with responsibility for local government will be releasing shortly the total sum that they have gotten over the last 2 years to spend in their respective division. So as soon as that is available, you will all see what your councillor has received. There's this argument out there about the MP not giving the councillor any money to spend. Members of Parliament don't give councillors money to spend. Members of Parliament resources comes through the Constituency Development Fund. As Member of Parliament, I can only make recommendation to suitable and qualified person. So I can't call a councillor and say, here is X, Y, and Z. Go and spend it and do what you want to do with it. I can't do that, because that would land me in trouble. As a matter of fact, it could not even pass the agencies that it is normally go through. Because members of Parliament, we don't write checks. As I said, we make the recommendation. And in a lot of instances, those recommendations have to be investigated and has to be vetted. Because if you are not if you don't fall within a certain category, it is difficult for you to get any assistance. The assistance that is given, it has a limit. So we have very little latitude as it relates to persons who receive benefit through the Member of Parliament. So that question about we not assisting councillors, it is so far from the truth. It is so far from the truth. What they are doing, they are trying to shift their blames because of their own neglect or because of their own nonchalant ways. Because if you engage your community members, then they will understand better what you're doing. But some of them, they can't call a community meeting to say this is what I am doing. As your Member of Parliament, I think I have more community meetings more than most others, because I need to let the community know what I am doing, need to let them know what to expect, need to let them know when the roads will be fixed. I'm not afraid to say to them that this road is not going to be fixed now, because all the roads cannot be fixed at the same time. All the roads cannot be fixed at the same time. The government has instructed members of parliament to pay special attention to their community roads. The main roads are the responsibility of the National Works Agency. And from time to time, you will see patching taking place. We have some patching work to take place soon. The road from Point to Maroon Town will see some patching taking place. The road from Antrobus to Mount Warren will see some patching taking place, especially out in the Normandy area, because that's very bad. The road from Mount Warren into Cambridge, and when that is the description of the road. The road, when they mention Mount Warren to Cambridge, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a full length of roads, but areas along the roadway or along that section of the road will begin getting some attention. So those three areas that I've mentioned, the road from Point to Maroon Town, some work will be done there very soon. Antrobus to Mount Warren, along that road, some work will be done there soon. From Mount Warren to Cambridge, some work will be done there soon. So all in all, we have been getting things done in the constituency. The major pipeline works from Sheffield into Antrobus is on in earnest. So far, the last report that I've gotten is the pipeline exercise has reached some 80%. Other areas of work has been taking place both at the source and at the storage area. Work is on in the Cottage Road area of Spring Garden, and soon and very soon that water project will be commissioned. And let me tell you, these are areas that have not seen water, or have not seen piped water in as much as 20 years. So what is now being done? Old pipes in some section is being changed out. New pipes is being added into areas. The matter of fact, I was told yesterday that the Springfield Primary School will once again have piped water at their school for the opening of September. Those of you who travel along the Barnet Bush from Springfield to Mount Warren, you will see some pipe works taking place there. They are changing out the old pipes, putting in new pipes. The other projects that are on street, the procurement exercise has completed, and we should be hearing something very soon. As I speak about procurement, I cannot not mention the Richmond Hill Road in Catadupa. From my information, the procurement process has been completed, the contract is awarded, and soon work will commence on that bit of road. It's a road that leads from Catadupa by Mr. Francis' shop down to Richmond Hill there, leading over to that attraction across there. So all in all, things are going in South St. James. Things are going in South St. James. And let me also say this. Our High Achievers Award function will be held in the month of August, where some 142 students from St. James Southern who have attended primary school in St. James Southern will be given cash and book voucher each to the tune of $25,000 each. So you can do the math and see how many millions of dollars will be made available to those schools to those students through their parents, so they can, ease some of the back to school pressure, which I've seen some booklets recently, and the price is really high. And so each getting $25,000, I know it will go a far way. I think I've talked enough, and I am prepared to accept some questions. But all in all, South St. James is in a better place. Your Member of Parliament continue to give quality service to my constituents. I will hasten to say that it all can't be done at the same time. But I want to remind persons that when I became your Member of Parliament, there was no pipe project being done. Nowhere. I must also say to you that these pipe projects that are now at varying stage of construction, we're looking at over $1.2 billion worth of pipe projects. As it relates to road projects, we're pretty nearing $150 million worth of road projects that is now and to commence soon under construction. Over $150 million. We have an additional $330 million to be spent on the Spark Road. We have gotten one Spark Road started. The contractor is having some problems based on what I was told recently. But I heard that they're supposed to be, getting more equipment and more workmen to execute the work in a very timely way. The Shaw Castle Road, the repairs are on in earnest. There was some setback, especially coming out of the month of June, where there was, daily rainfall, and it really messed up the place big time. But the contractor told me that now that the rain has eased up somewhat, he will be pushing to make sure that that road is completed. I wish I could say to you that the road will be completed before the general election, which, all members of Parliament would like for their roads to be completed before the general elections. But work will continue, whether or not there's an election or there is an election, because government resources is spent not based on when an election are held, but based on the availability of the necessary resources. But we will see some of these roads reach to a state where we can say it was good for us to have elected your current member of parliament to administer the affairs of your constituency. Yes, I've seen some questions coming in. This person is asking, will the students from Niagara Johnson area be accommodated on the new bus system? As I said previously elsewhere, the route is from Montego Bay to Maroon Town.